Like clockwork, the Call of Duty franchise has been a fixture of the first-person shooter genre with yearly releases for over a decade. And every year, the debate over which games in the series have stood the test of time rages on. So our in-office Call of Duty fans have once again pulled their collective thoughts to decide which entries deserve to be in the top 10 spot. This list is not based on IGN review scores, but they've been taken into consideration, along with overall quality, lasting impact, cultural influence, and complete presentation. With that in mind, here are our picks for the greatest Call of Duty games of all time. While Call of Duty World War II offered a surprisingly fast-paced and fun World War II experience, the boots-on-the-ground Old War setting didn't resonate as much as we would have liked. But with an array of engaging multiplayer modes such as War and Prop Hunt, and a Zombies mode that returned to its terrifying horror roots, World War II was a surprisingly good package, even if it felt a little bit more on the been-there-done-that side. Advanced Warfare brought Call of Duty into the future yet again, with a blockbuster story campaign centered around an advanced military tech company that gives soldiers enhanced mobility via exosuits. While the enhanced mobility introduced by these suits was a welcome change in the campaign, the exo movements dramatically changed the formula of player versus player multiplayer. This drastic shift was met with mixed reception, and the advanced movement suit was ultimately removed in later entries in the series. Perhaps more than any other Call of Duty, Black Ops 3 wasn't afraid to take risks. In multiplayer, Treyarch gave us wall running and specialist classes, which seemed like the logical next step in the increasingly futuristic Black Ops franchise. Despite the clunky new movement, the inclusion of class-like specialists gave us options to play how we wanted. With another dose of the now equally ridiculous and difficult Zombies mode, Black Ops 3 really shined in its cooperative play. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 continued to push the series in a familiar direction. The campaign wrapped up its predecessor's storyline, and the multiplayer doubled down on what Call of Duty fans had come to expect from the franchise. Though it introduced new elements like weapon progression, proficiencies, and some other minor additions to the multiplayer suite, Modern Warfare 3 stuck to its guns. But that's not to say continuing to do what the franchise did so well was necessarily a bad thing. World at War once again returned Call of Duty to the trenches and beaches of World War II, this time with a mature twist. The bold reimagining of the classic Call of Duty formula set the groundwork for Treyarch's foray into what would become Black Ops. With its focus on 4-player cooperative campaign, that in-the-trenches warfare feeling, and of course, the introduction of Zombies, a post-credit Easter egg that spawned the phenomenon. Few games have had a campaign as hard-hitting as Call of Duty 2. If you purchased a launch Xbox 360, this was the game that defined the term next-gen. Of course, by today's standards, its graphics are dated, but the excellent sound design and moment-to-moment gameplay immersed us in the World War II experience like nothing before. Though its multiplayer modes were limited, Call of Duty 2 dabbled with elements that would help inform the future of the franchise's multiplayer experience. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 introduced the Pick 10 system and score streaks to multiplayer, which added a depth and customization that's since become the multiplayer foundation of the franchise today. Not only did its campaign offer branching storylines, it set the stage for Black Ops' shift into futuristic tech, but it also elevated Zombies as the comical yet confusing juggernaut, or should I say juggernog, we know and love today. While technically a sequel to the original Black Ops, it gave us innovation that felt fresh, and was a memorable addition that stayed true to the franchise.
Are we ready for launch?
Call of Duty Black Ops was a three-headed monster that had something for everyone. If you wanted a great single-player shooter, this was your game. Its multiplayer was strategic, its guns felt amazing to use, and the kill streaks were on another level. Zombies once again returned to the series, and the game also introduced two of the greatest maps in Call of Duty history, Firing Range and Nuketown. Maps so popular, they keep coming back as fan favorites in future Black Ops games. For many gamers, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare set a new standard for campaign design and multiplayer innovation, blowing them away both figuratively and literally. There was a sense that while everything in its multiplayer design was new, it was nearly perfect. The weapons felt fantastic, the maps were diverse and engaging, and the now simple idea of lock kill streaks at 3, 5, and 7 rewarded you for skill. The perks and their flexibility allowed you to tailor your experience to your playstyle. And to this day, this is arguably the purest multiplayer offering and one of the best campaigns in Call of Duty history. Modern Warfare 2 is the pinnacle game of the Call of Duty franchise. It expanded on the solid foundation built by its predecessor, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and set a new standard for the AAA first-person shooter. With some of the most controversial and memorable campaign moments in the franchise, a brand new cooperative mode in Spec Ops, and a top-tier suite of maps for player versus player enthusiasts, Modern Warfare 2 kept us coming back to frag for years.
Ready for launch.
Its customizable kill streaks and progression challenges were refined to perfection and remains a franchise mainstay. Its visual fidelity, musical score, and core gameplay were unprecedented in 2009 and still rival modern-day shooters nearly 10 years later. While the healthy argument over whether or not Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2 deserves the top spot may never fully be settled, its reception solidified the franchise as an entertainment staple and takes our top spot for the best Call of Duty game of all time.
Good kill.
What's your favorite game of the series? Let us know in the comments below, and for all things video games and Call of Duty, keep it right here on IGN.